Yes.
Here's your water, and wait till Vivian tells you to start speaking.
Okay.
Tal, you have 4 minutes. Hang on until we... Okay.
Good afternoon, dear deputies. My name is Tal Ofer, and I represent Chigwell and Hainel Synagogue. I'm really grateful for everyone who have been nominating me and everyone who has been in touch with me during the last 6 weeks. It's been truly a fascinating journey, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I would like as well to thank and to pay tribute to the honorary officers for their tremendous work during the last 3 years. I shared my vision and strategy with you, and one of my themes is to empower deputies up and down the country. For far too long, regional deputies felt neglected. We have deputies who are not in a division, but would like to contribute and offer the skills and experience inside and outside plenaries, but their voice isn't heard. There are many from the younger generation who do not feel the board represents their views or listens to them. And there are some groups like the Haredi or some Jews who are not being members of any synagogue, and we need to change it, and the change starts today. One of my priorities is to bring the board closer to the communities, and I've initiated a plan to conduct regional question time meetings which will enable the board to present its activities to the constituents, but also for the constituents to engage. Vivian Wyman has called this an excellent idea, but it's not just that. As a vice president, I think it's really important to visit the constituencies outside London much often. The concerns of those constituencies may not necessarily be the same as those in London. I also think it's important to engage with grassroots activists and groups. Stephen Jaffa has done a fantastic job, and much more can be done. I really want to unite the community by showing them that the board is here for them. Let us not forget, the board belongs to the community, and it's our duty to empower and re-engage the whole community. We have to listen to the issues that matter to our community, and from today, we are going to listen to them carefully. We face new challenges as a community, and these challenges require bold and fresh ideas. Our community expects us to provide leadership in times of crisis, but also on a daily basis, whether it's on Shechita or a Brit Milah. We have to stand firm in the fight against new and old forms of anti-Semitism, the delegitimization of Israel, and the BDS movement. We need real action. And when I say real action, I mean that last year, a Labour MP made an anti-Semitic comment in a parliamentary debate. I made a complaint to the party, and she had to make a public apology. So this is real action for me. And this will be an ongoing battle, but we will prevail. And let me say it loud and clear to you. We are here to stay. Our kids, our parents, our grandparents, grandchildren, all here to stay. This is our home. And Jews should live across the country without the fear to practice their Judaism and without having to face intimidations, assault, and other forms of abuse. To tackle these challenges, it is essential to continue with different interfaith initiatives with all faith groups. We should continue to reach out to the Christian and the Muslim communities, but also to others like the Sikh community. It is also essential to make due diligence as to who we are partnering with. I'm proud British Jew, proud of doing great things for the community over the years. Proud to have been able to mobilize 500 people last summer in a social media campaign that got major donors of the Tricycle Theatre to pool funding. This is what I call new approach. And as a VP, I will ensure we are not just responsive, but also proactive. I will create strong media visibility for the 21st century, including training for deputies on how to handle social media, how to do radio interviews, and how to lobby their MPs and councillors effectively. I've been working hard for the community for many years, and I understand that the issues that matters and what has to be prioritized. Let me share with you a short story so you can understand where my inspiration comes from. In 1974, Israel Lau went to New York to visit the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It was just after Yom Kippur War, and there were lots of anxiety in Israel. The Rebbe asked Rabbi Lau, what do Jews feel right now? And the reply was, Jews asking themselves, what will happen to them? At that moment, the Rebbe grabbed his arm and said, Jews don't ask what will happen to them. Jews ask what we are going to do about it.
Thank you very much, Tal. Questions? Yes, that's Julian Hunt again. Anybody else want to ask a question?
If you were chair of the Defence Division, what areas would you specifically prioritise and why?
Thank you very much for the question, Julian. I think that the areas we have to really prioritize would be the areas of the fight against the BDS and the fight against anti-Semitism. I think that I prove I really have a track record when it comes to the BDS, against the tricycle theater, when it comes to anti-Semitism. I mentioned already Yasmin Qureshi. I also took action when footballer Nikola Anelka made the canal gesture in a football game. I wrote to the FA and they wrote back to me saying that they're going to take disciplinary actions against the player. So I have a track record, and those are the issues which I will continue to promote and support if I will be a chair of this division.
Thank you. Jonathan Goldblum. Get the mic and name and constituency.
Jonathan Goldblum, Marseille Clairdas. I was a bit surprised if you, as an Israeli, said you hope to live here forever. I would have hoped that you would want to go back to Israel at some point.
Thank you very much for the question, Jonathan. So yes, I'm both Israeli and I'm both British, and I'm proud to be both. And I'm proud that all my family is living in this wonderful country. My daughter is going to go next year to Klor Tikva School. My 16-year-old brother goes to King Solomon, and my younger sister is doing her PhD at UCL. I'm really proud to be here. I'm really proud in the state of Israel. And what I will be doing as a vice president, I will continue to defend the interests of the community and, of course, continue to defend the interests of Israel in the UK and in Europe.
Joe Millis.
Joe Millis, Bromley Reform. Mazel tov on your maiden speech. You've been here precisely, I think, one meeting. What have you learned?
First of all, I've been for more than one meeting, and I've learned a lot from deputies, because it's not just from the plenaries, but by talking to deputies outside the plenaries, which I think is really, really important, because we have a lot of deputies with fantastic skills, and this is one of the things which I mentioned, which we really should do, is to make sure that we utilize those skills, because the plenaries is not the only place where we can take action. In terms of how long I've been on the board, in my opinion, it's irrelevant, because I became on the board because of the great thing which I've done to the community, and that's why my constituency chose me to be the representative on the board. I can tell you that Laura Marks has been on the board for 3 months, and she became a senior vice president, because she's been doing great things for the community. Barack Obama has been a senator for 1 term, and he became the president of the United States. So... So, I don't think, as much as we don't want to single out people for the age or the gender, I don't think that the time on the board is important and it's precious, but I do have some other experience which I bring from my side, and some really dynamism and enthusiasm, and some record in the community, the things which I've done. And what I really want to do, if I get your vote, is to empower others across the country to do it. And it's not just the deputies, it's all members of the community.
Hello, Lawrence Radley from Aelith, Northwestern Reform Synagogue. Tal, it's great to see an Israeli expat getting involved in the board. There are many Israeli expats living in London and in the UK. It would be great if we can get them more involved, and we've been trying over many years. Is there anything you think you could add to help in engagement of the Israeli community in this country with the mainstream community activities? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. I think I can obviously add, because I do have contacts within the Israeli community, and I know that there have been some discussions between the organization who represent them, with some thought of trying to apply in the future to become a member of the Board of Deputies. But obviously, if that has to happen, they will have to meet all the conditions set out in the constitutions. For my part, if I can facilitate and if I can bring closer the communities, which I think is really, really important. And I think it will be a mutual process. We both have to open up to them, and they will have to open up for us.
George.
George White, Penny United. There's no question in my mind that Israel drives anti-Semitism in this country. A, do you agree with it? And B, if you do agree with it, what are you going to do about it in terms of changing Israel's perspective in this country from negative to positive?
Thank you very much for the question. First of all, I think that Israel actually have a really good perspective and a positive perspective. I mean, if you just look at the trade between the UK and Israel in the last 5 years under Ambassador Gold, I mean, they did a terrific job. And I think what we have to do, we just have to make, as deputies, the strong case for Israel. We, after all, represent the Jewish community. We do not represent the Israeli government here. And we can make the case for Israel as strong as we can. I mean, we know that Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East where everyone have equal rights, where you have a separation of powers between the parliament and the judiciary and the government, and where gays and Arabs
30 seconds, Tal.
have equal rights to vote in the elections. So as far as if it comes to me, I think I can make a really, really strong case, and hopefully to change those who don't hold a positive view of Israel at the current moment.
We have 10 seconds left now. If there's a question which can have a 10 seconds answer, yes, over there. Oh, I thought it was somebody behind you, Tony, because you've asked already. Okay, Tony, question with a 10-second answer. Mike.
I see you've got experience in internet commerce. How would you apply it to the board?
Well, I think that what's really common in sales and in politics and communal affairs is how you present your case and how you convince the other side and how you convey your message. So what I do when I deal with marketing directors and CA is just convincing them in my case, and I will make this clear to whoever I deal with.
Well done. Thanks.